Hi everyone, welcome back to ladensercrochets. If you're new to the channel, you're welcome. My name is Liz. Kindly subscribe and join the family. In this tutorial, we're making this crossbody bag. It's a very simple pattern. I used the smiley emoji and I've already done this to the end. I've attached a zipper to it and also a lining. So I'll be using this particular one to illustrate how to work the bag, and I'm going to work this bag in two parts. In the first part, I'll show you how to create the smiley emoji granny square, then we're going to connect it to form the bag and attach the D-rings or the ring and the strap. Then in part 2, I'll show you how to work the zipper together with the lining. So get your materials and let's get into the tutorial. If you end up liking this tutorial, do not forget to leave a like, a comment, share. If you're not subscribed, kindly subscribe. The requirements for this project are yarn. I'm using a medium weight yarn, but I'll be doubling my strands. It's a bag, and so I want it to be firm, and that's why I'm doubling the strands. Then a 3.5mm crochet hook. You need a smaller hook in order for the stitches to be tight. Then a pair of scissors, 2 D-rings, a sewing thread, a zipper, a lining, and a sewing needle. You'll also need a darning needle for weaving in the end. So this is for sewing the lining and the zipper. If you have a sewing machine, then you don't really need this. I'll begin by doubling the yellow yarn, then start with a magic circle. Then chain 2. The chain 2 is not a stitch. Then we go into that magic circle with 12 double crochets. So yarn over, insert your hook into the circle, yarn over and pull up a loop to get 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through the remaining 2. That's a double crochet. Yarn over, insert your hook into the same ring, to the same circle, and do another double crochet. Then do a total of 12 double crochets into that circle. This is after the 12 double crochets. Now pull up this shorter end to close up that circle. Then insert your hook into the first double crochet that you've done on top of it. Then bring this end on top in order to work on it. Pull up a loop and pull through the loop that is on the hook to complete round 1 with a slip stitch. Chain 2. Like I mentioned earlier, the chain 2 is not a stitch. Then we're going to go straight into that stitch where the chain 2 is and work 2 double crochets. Into the next stitch, we're going to work 2 double crochets. Two double crochets into the stitch that follows. Then we're going to place 2 double crochets into every stitch in row 2. At the end of row 2, we should have 24 double crochets. So now go on, work 2 double crochets into every stitch. I'm at the end of row 2, and to complete it's a round actually, not row. I'm at the end of round 2, so to complete, I'll insert my hook on top of the first double crochet and slip stitch. And there we have the 2 rows done. Chain 2, work a double crochet into that same stitch where the chain 2 is. Then in the next stitch we're going to place 2 double crochets. In the stitch that follows, 1 double crochet. The next one gets 2 double crochets. The next one gets 1 double crochet, then 2 double crochets, and we're going to repeat this pattern to the end. That is 1 2 1 2 1 2. So we have 1 double crochet, then 2 double crochets. Slip stitch on top of the first double crochet, chain 1, and cut off the yarn, and we are done with the yellow yarn. Pull through and fasten. Now get your red, the 2 strands of the red. Begin in that stitch where you've cut off the yarn. Into this stitch, insert your hook and pull up the red yarn. Chain 1, and now we're going to work over these ends. We start from that stitch and we're going to place 1 single crochet. Then the next stitch will get 1 single crochet. The second will get 1. And the third will get 1, for a total of 4 single crochets. So you're going to work 4 single crochets. Then the next stitch will get 1 half double crochet. For half double crochet, yarn over, insert your hook into the stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop to get 3 loops, yarn over and pull through the 3 loops. Then the next stitch will get a half double crochet. The stitch that follows will get a double crochet. Then chain 2, go back into that same stitch with another double crochet. After the double crochet shell, we're going to work a half double crochet into the next stitch, half double crochet into the stitch that follows. So we are creating the corners for the square because we are turning the circle into a square. Next, we're going to work 4 single crochets, 1 into each of the stitches. So 1 2 3 and 4. Then half double crochet next, and another half double crochet, then a double crochet next, chain 2, another double crochet into that same stitch to create the second corner, then half double crochet next, then a second half double crochet, then 4 single crochets. That is 1 2 3 and 4. Next, half double crochet, another half double crochet, then a double crochet, chain 2, another double crochet into that same stitch, then half double crochet next, and a second half double crochet, then 4 single crochets, 1 2 3 and 4. Next, half double crochet, next. The next stitch gets a double crochet, chain 2, another double crochet into that same stitch. Then we're going to have 2 half double crochets in the last 2 stitches, 1 into each of them. Now slip stitch onto the first single crochet to complete round 4. Chain 1, and now we're going to work a round of half double crochets all the way around. So begin with the first half double crochet into that same stitch, half double crochets into the next stitch until we get to the corner. When we get to the corner, we're going to place a half double crochet into that corner. Then chain 1, go back into the same corner with a half double crochet. Then we're going to work into this stitch right here, half double crochet into it, then go on till you get to the corner. At the corner, we're going to do a half double crochet, chain 1, another half double crochet into the same stitch, into the same corner, then work a half double crochet right here and repeat this to the end. At the end, you're going to have 3 half double crochets, then slip stitch onto that first half double crochet, chain 1 and cut off the yarn, and our square is complete. Next, we're going to get the black yarn and the yarn needle. Then we're going to put the yarn through. We also doubling the yarn. This is the length I'm working with. Make sure that you have a significant length. Then get your square, determine the middle part right here, then move along that line to the last row of the yellow yarn, and somewhere in between the row on this double crochet, in between the double crochet, insert your darning needle from the wrong side and pull up the yarn. Then we're going to go onto this same line on this row, and somewhere in the middle insert the needle and weave so that you create something like that. Then turn onto the wrong side and make 2 knots. Turn to the right side, and now we're going to work on this line. So now insert your needle to bring it up very close to that whatever we worked there. Bring it up, and now we're going to weave on this line till we get somewhere in the middle right here. So this is what we do. So now I'm on the same line here. So I'll just go in like that. Then I'm going to go onto this row on this side from the inside. Then work on the row on this opposite side. And there we've created the smile. Then we're going to move this yarn to the edge. At the end, we'll just go onto the wrong side. And that round is complete. So now I'll just weave in this end on the wrong side and make sure that it's not visible from the right side. Weave it in. Then cut it off. I'll trim off these ends that I already worked on. So now this is the wrong side, this is the right side. So now we're going to create the eyes right here, somewhere here, starting from the wrong side. Then you just want to create a straight line. Like that. So that is done. Go on to the wrong side and do the knots. Cut the yarn, but not too close to the knot. Then create another one like this on the opposite side. You just want to make sure they are on the same line, so somewhere here. Create a stitch line there. Then we're going to weave in this end. Then just cut off the end that remains. And there we are done with our first square. I'm going to work 3 more squares like this, and then I'll come back once I have a total of 4 squares to show you how to join them. I have my 4 squares ready and I'm ready to join them. So I want to join them to get a bag like this. So I'll start with the middle squares. I'll get the first one facing in this direction, then the other one facing in the opposite direction. Just like that. I'm going to join using the yellow yarn. you want to make sure that you're joining from the right side. So this is the right side of the square and this is the wrong side. So make sure your squares are on the right side. Then you're going to get the chain 1 at the corner and the chain 1 at the corner of the other square. Insert your hook there and grab the yellow yarn and pull it through. Then chain 1, go back into that square, into that chain 1, and place a single crochet. Then we're going to go into the second stitch and the second stitch on the other side and do a single crochet. As I work the single crochets, I'm working over the end to weave it in, then into the third stitch and the third stitch on the other side. Place a single crochet to connect them, then the fourth and the fourth on the other side. And now we're just going to connect the corresponding stitches till we get to the corner, to the chain 1 stitch at the corner. I'm at the chain 1 stitch and now I'm just going to get into that chain 1 stitch and the chain 1 stitch on the other side. And there we have the 2 squares connected like that. We're going to get the third square and connect it right here. So from here, I'll insert my hook back into this corner stitch on one of the squares. Then I'll get the corner stitch on the third square and connect them with a single crochet. Then I'll just connect from this end to the other end, same way we've connected right here. At the corner, chain 1 and cut off the yarn, pull through and fasten, and this is what we have. Now we want this edge and this edge, we want to connect them together so that we have something like a triangle that is folded in. So insert your hook into this corner, just like that, and grab your yarn, then pull it through. And at this point we're not going to chain 1, we'll just get the 2 squares and join them on the edge, starting with the stitch at the corner while weaving in this end. So now just connect with single crochets to the next corner. I'm at the corner, so right there I'll just do the last single crochet, chain 1 and cut off the yarn, pull through and fasten. Then I'll just remove these ends and now this is what we have. So now right here is where we're going to attach that 4th square. And I'm going to begin here, then work through the top. So begin at the chain 1 at the corner and the chain 1 on the corner, at the corner on the other side. Reconnect the yarn there. Make sure that you're attaching on the right side. Chain 1, back into that corner with a single crochet. Work over this end then attach the corresponding stitches. So I'll go into this corner and the corner on the other side. I'll do a slip stitch right here. Do a slip stitch, then now go into the corner of this square and the corner of the square that is just attached. So now the slip stitch helps join this part so that it looks continuous. And then now we're going to attach all the corresponding stitches till we get to the next corner. At the corner, I'll just place my last single crochet there. And now, this is what we have. The bag is taking shape, as you can see. Now do not cut off the yarn. We're going to use it to work all the way around. So begin by chaining one and go back into that stitch with a single crochet. Then work one single crochet into every stitch on this square that we are on. Then we're going to get to the corner stitch and place a single crochet into it. And then on this row, I'm going to do a slip stitch. Then that will take me straight to the other side where I'll do a single crochet into the corner stitch. And now as I do that, I'll work over the end and continue with the single crochets to the top where we have the corner. At the corner, we're going to do a single crochet, chain one, and another single crochet right there. Then continue onto these stitches with one single crochet till you get to this corner. Actually, this is not a corner, it's just a joint. So continue till you get to that joint. At the joint, do a single crochet on the corner stitch on this side. Then slip stitch into this stitch on the joint part, then turn on to the other corner and work a single crochet into the corner stitch, then one single crochet into all the stitches, and I'll work like that till I get to this corner. When I get to the corner, I'll work a single crochet, chain one, another single crochet, just like we did on this other one. Then all the others will get one single crochet till I get right here. The last stitch will be in this corner. Then to complete that row, we slip stitch onto the first single crochet that we made right there, and we are working that edging on the top part of the bag, and that is row one. Then chain one and turn, and we are working rows, that's why we're working with while turning. Into this very first stitch, place a single crochet, then place one single crochet into every stitch till you get to the stitch at the corner here, the chain one stitch. I'm at the chain 1 stitch right here. It's in between the 2 single crochets, which is this one right here. So I'll do a single crochet, then chain 1, go back right there with another single crochet. Then I'm going to work 1 single crochet into every stitch all the way till I get to this chain 1, where I'll work the same way I've done here, then go all the way around with 1 single crochet to the end. Slip stitch into that first stitch, chain 1 and turn. We begin row 3 in the very first stitch and work 1 single crochet in every stitch till we get to the corner. Stop at 1 stitch before the corner. This is the chain gap, so I'll stop before I get to the stitches in that gap, which are 1, the chain, and the third one. Then I'll get the D-ring and attach it right there. So I'll go into this stitch just before the corner and work a single crochet while working over the D-ring. Then I'll go into the chain 1 with another single crochet and onto the chain after the chain 1 with a third single crochet while working over the D-ring, and the ring is in place. So now we're going to continue with 1 single crochet into all the stitches till we get to the next corner. So once you get there, get the other D-ring and attach it the same way we've done with the one on the other side. So 1 single crochet into that stitch, 1 single crochet into the stitch at the middle, and 1 single crochet for that stitch. Then now we're going to continue with 1 single crochet till we get here, then slip stitch at the end. At the end, slip stitch onto the first single crochet, chain 1 and cut off the yarn, pull through and fasten. Now get the yarn needle and weave in this end on the inside of the bag. So now our bag is complete. All that's remaining is to work a strap. We start with a slip knot, and as we do that, we're going to leave a long end like that, then do the slip knot, then make 4 chains, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Block off the 4th chain and chain 1 more, yarn over and insert your hook into that chain that you're holding. Do a half double crochet, then do 1 half double crochet into the next chain, into the 3rd chain, and into the 4th chain for a total of 4 half double crochets. Chain 1 and turn, work 1 half double crochet into the 1st stitch, into the 2nd, into the 3rd stitch, and into the 4th stitch. Chain 1 and turn to begin row 3, and work the same way we worked row 3, 1 half double crochet into every stitch for a total of 4 half double crochets. Chain 1 and turn and work the 4 half double crochets, and keep going with these rows for a total of 70 rows. At the end of the 70 rows, chain 1, leave a long end, and then cut off the yarn, pull through and fasten, and we have our strap ready. So we're going to attach it to the bag, and we're going to do that using the yarn needle. So just get one end. Now let me get the bag, and then ensure that your strap is not twisted. So now one end goes to one side and the other end goes on to the other side. So what you do is put your yarn through, get this end and put it through the ring. Then you're just going to attach it like this. Once you're done with the straps, you're done with part 1 of the bag. Click on the link in the description box below and watch part 2. Leave a like, a comment, and don't forget to share with your friends.